So we're back, and now we have everything's glued down for our table. We're getting started with our plate. So you want your plate to take up a whole lot of the paper that's on here. If you want to have a placemat, which is a small textile, you can go ahead and add that. I'm going to skip it and go right to the plate for this demonstration. So here is my paper. You can see I've used some of it before. The easiest way to do this would be to take your paper, fold it in half. I'm going to cut the extra off here. All right. And now I'm going to do the whole cutting out half of my shape. So on my open edges, I'm going to just cut off the corners like so. So big chips. You might remember this from kindergarten. And now I'm going to take the little chips off like this, the pointy parts that are still there. And this will give me basically an oval shape. All right, that is a really big plate. So I'm going to go ahead and trim it down. And some of you might be saying, but I have round plates, not oval plates. That's okay. How do I make this more of an oval? Well, I can cut this down and do the same process. Take the big chips off the corner and then the little chips this way. And that's going to give you a bit more of a rounder looking plate. All right, so there is your plate. I'm going to set it off to one side so that I have, but not all the way, a little bit, so I have room to get my fork and my knife, which I need, that was in my planning, and maybe part of a drink over here also. So that is your plate. From here, the rest of what you choose to do, again, here is my finished example, is using those paper cutting techniques. So as a review, I did layering right here when I put the grill marks on my pork chop. I did cut to reveal when I cut into my mashed potatoes to show that it was sort of lumpy like this. Well, I mean, the mashed potatoes weren't lumpy, but you know, when you put them on the plate and you get a little bit more, how some of it might stand up. Here is my little pat of butter. I know a lot of people say this looks like eggs, but it's not. Here I have some overlapping, so my plate is overlapping my utensils on either side. This is the technique called explode. So I cut that stripe. This is a soda can. I cut that swoosh, that stripe in there, and then I just pulled it apart so there's a little bit of space inside there. Over here, this is sauerkraut. And I cut out little pieces to do the sauerkraut, and then you see this square stuff right in here. That is my negative space. So I cut out my sauerkraut from the middle, and then I used both the piece that I cut out, that's the positive, and the negative. So I have used all of my paper cutting techniques that I needed to complete this project. You don't have to use every single one, but you need to use, I believe we said 3. So I have layering, that's 1, positive and negative 2, cut to reveal, that's 3, overlapping is 4, and explode, which is 5. Of course, keep in mind, I'm the teacher. So you can go ahead once you have your plate on there and you can start to build your meal. Have fun!